Yo, what's up? You're welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Mamodo Peter, also known as Zazie Graphics. Now, in this particular tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to create backgrounds for your design. So, I'll be making use of not just only pixellab, but also be making use of some other apps I use in creating my background. So, please, the tutorial may actually sound boring, like something you used to, depending on your level before, but just stay tuned. You've pretty much learned a lot. So, without any further ado, let's just go. I've gotten rid of this elements. So these are previous works, and uh, so this option, we have so many options here. This is for your text, this is for your image and shapes. This also works for, these two works for mostly your background. So this one, so the first way you create background is click on the color, is use color. So you can just use your color and you just use it to making any background. Let me make use of this red. So you can just come here and adjust. Click on the plus icon, you adjust evenly. So anything you adjust to be displayed here to your color. So I can not just bring in particular element. So okay, let me bring in this cupcake. So I'll just position it here. So this is a background for my cupcake. Now I cannot just decide to write on top of here either by this side or by this side, or add some few informations here and here just to see something about this particular design. So I can hide it. We'll get back to this cupcake. So the next thing we can use for making a background is gradient. Gradient is a mixture of two or more colors. So by default, this is my, you click on this plus icon. This your may having something different. This is my pixellab, the particular one I'm using. If you want this one, just send me hi on WhatsApp. I'll be able to forward it to you. Is it on Telegram? Just send me hi to me on WhatsApp. Alright, so I'll give you, you come click on this option, this first one, click on this color icon. Let me give you these shades of purple that has a touch of blue. So we have this, then this particular one, click on color, then we have this particular one here. You can see the color has actually changed. Oh, let's just make use of something that is nice. So it has actually changed. So click on plus, you click on this, let's use this option. Okay, by this one, you check it, so it's changing. So when we click on this one too, the positions is actually changing. So any position you change it to, you'll be getting it. So you can just adjust this evenly, or you can add to it. So when you click on this plus icon, you are adding, minus you subtracting, but you must have at least two. You must have at least, you can't deduct everything. So when you click on plus, it gives you a shade between those two colors are here. When I click on plus, give me shades of this light brown and this purple and this blue. So when let me click on this one, change the color to white. F. So this is it. When I click on plus, you see this one is kind of lighter. It's because it's actually a mixture of both. So let me just come here and delete this. Let's just turn it this way, and this is what we are having. But so you can use various gradient. I'm not clicking OK, I don't want it. Various shades of gradient for your design. So let me just save this one as an image. Coming to it later. Alright, so let me move it this here so I can actually see it. So the next one we can use for our background is our text. So by default, it brings in new text. So I don't want to touch it. So let me just leave it like that. So we can just come here and change the font. Let me just make use of popping semi-bold. You can just increase it, text, and as well as just reduce the opacity of whatever your text may be. Okay, so I can still just copy this and just still reduce the opacity. Alright, so this is me just playing around. Send it to the back. If it's too visible, you can choose to reduce the opacity further. Alright, so this is another way you can actually create background using various kinds of text. Let me bring in a different text. You can as well as just come here. Where's this particular option? You can use anyone or anyone. So don't just limit yourself to what I'm using. You can use full stop. Okay, let's use TM. The next one, TM. Alright, so what I'll just do, I actually clicked on that TM by mistake. Copy. Then I'll just paste. Alright. Oh, this is a mistake. But let's just, I want this thing to be even. Alright, so sorry, I'm having running nose. Now, alright, so let's just copy paste. Alright, so click on this. So we're having this element now. I can now use this as my background. You can just design on it. You can still just bring a shape white. You can just, okay, before we just, okay, let's just make use of this shape. Change the color to blue, then reduce the opacity. This for the stroke. Use the opacity. Now, so this starts my background. So you see, this is my background. How I actually have gotten this background now for this particular design. Or I can still with this particular one. This my text. Come to this text option and change the color of the text to whichever element I want it to be, whatever color I choose it to be. So you can see it's actually giving it a kind of feel for your design. Some of you might have not tried this method before. So you can also use, let's just hide this one now. Let me bring another text. You can use some of these script font. Let me use of this Shelling. Okay, let me just increase the padding. Let me increase it. So you can just come here and reduce the transparency. Okay, now it's kind of adding beauty to that beauty to this background. Now if you notice, we're still having like one new text here before, so you can still reduce the opacity further if you don't want it to be too obvious. So this is one way you can just add your background. So let's just come to this one before I forget. Now I can choose to rotate my background, but it's actually not working now. Also my background now, but if I click on vignette sorry, vignette, it has like shades of black. I can add whatever color I want, but it will not be good when you're putting this too much for your design. So you can just reduce it and just apply any color you want. You can use black, you can use white. So this is the strength. You can reduce the strength. You can use this black for the particular design you're working on. So you can add some like stripes to it. Now this is the stripes covering this design. You can reduce the strength, like the opacity. This alpha is just like the opacity, but you can still see shades of the stripe there. Now this is the repetition. So if you want it to repeat itself in various ways, like it seems kind of like stretching in and stretching out. So this is the function of why this is for your brightness of your background. So this is for saturation and contrast. Sorry, when you increase the contrast, this is what you get. Now this is for hue, also known as color. See, it is actually changing. give me different shades of color that will go also that you can actually use for this your design. So maybe you're trying to do a design, you're struggling to get color that goes with that design. So when you use you can actually give you variations of a color that can actually goes with that particular color of that particular color. All right, so use another name for color. Now this is saturation for this particular design. There are times when I'll just do some designs, I'll do some backgrounds, I'll just come and probably increase the saturation or increase the contrast. Sorry. So okay, so that's that for this particular one. Then I'll just come here and hide this. Another one I use in creating my design is my background is my shape. So this shape you can as well just play alongside with your shape. Just play with your shape. And okay, just let me position this here, and I'll just come here, this the shape option, reduce the transparency of the shape. Okay, so I'll just copy this, position this here, then edit it, use all right, so it's now kind of very obvious. You can make yours obvious. I just choose to make mine transparent. So you can just play around it. You can get a bold one, you can get one. So I'm just okay, let's just hide this one now. Another thing I do, I actually learned this one from Chisom, and this one is using this cycle option, reducing the let's just increase the stroke of the stroke, then opacity of the circle. Just so the first thing is just reduce the opacity, come to stroke, increase the stroke, leave this opacity on, then increase the blur radius. So just let's use this. You can also use a gradient. That's the fun part of it, but I'll be making use of a color for just because I'm showing you this thing I'm actually doing here. So I'll draw it this way, then I'll draw it here. Let's just make use of this gradient. All right, so then it's not like this, it's just tiny, so we'll just draw it, we'll scale it up, we can just rotate it, position it the way we want, we can put it here, then position it here, then just copy, then we can just okay, I think I'm not liking the way this color is turning out, so let me just go with let me go back and edit it, just go back and edit, then just make this okay. Let's just make this shades of this particular color. Okay, now I'll make use of this one. Just delete this. Okay, copy this, then this one here. So if you look at it, what it is having now is giving you variations of different shades. So this is a background, so I can just come here and save this. It's going to take a longer time because I have some elements on my so it's because of all just these elements. I'm having this element on my layers, so I'll just come here and bring in this particular element. All right, so this leaf in particular, you can use different things. You can even make use of that cupcake that I brought in. So I'll try that cupcake now. So I will just use this leaf, reduce the opacity, then I'll come to shadow, increase the shadow. Now I can just increase the blur a bit, then I'll just click on this plus, then I just reduce the strength of the shadow. All right, so it's giving me a kind of like a wavy feeling. Yeah, so this is a background. You can use this as a background for your next design. All right, so you can as well just send this to the back, so you see that wavy feeling is still reflecting on this your design. All right, so the next one I'll be making use of, okay, let me bring in this my cupcake. I don't think all right, so it is vibrating. Use motion blur to it. Let me just add this, then let's just try reducing the opacity a bit. So see, it's giving me like, when you look at the background now, see the kind of effect it's bringing. So this, I can just use this to do any design I want. So it's a cool background, right? So you just see the kind of effect you're using. So now let me now make use of this particular element. Okay, so I brought in two image, but this may just, okay, I'll position this one here. All right, okay, you can just position it the way wherever you want. Now I can use this as a background and choose to design on it, but it will not be good because it's going to be, and I want to do this. Now it's actually not merging together. If I say, okay, this is my background, so what do I now do to make this background good? So the only thing I can now do is just come here and okay, let me lock it. I will just come to my eraser. I will just erase with the edge of whatsoever one you don't want. So I can just use my erase the edge. So if you don't want this part top too, you can just erase the top part. So there are times, and you can just come here and reduce the opacity. You see it's going to actually blend with the background. You can see it's actually blending with the background already. So okay, what of this other? I actually didn't lock this sleeve. So this other one, we can also apply the same method. So all we just do is now come here. Now this one is for this side. Sorry, eraser. We just come increase this, make this here. Then okay, let me just make this. Then I'll just erase this side for this design. Now actually just erase the top of that one for you to actually see what I'm doing. So now we've seen the cross, and we can just reduce the opacity. It just depends if you actually want this one to be more visible. All right, so if you are working on a particular, maybe you're working on a church. I think I did a video. You're working on a church, like you want it to be on stage, a church that you want people to actually be on stage. Then this is a stage. This is a stage. You can actually bring in some light effects like this one now. All right, we can actually, just because I wanted to bring in some light, but I'm actually not getting those lights. I can't locate it for now. I'll just use my eraser to the same method, then increase then I'll just position this here. So without even touching it, it's actually blending now. I haven't touched the design. So let me just come here and just hopefully just merge the two of them. So you can just still come here and adjust it, but I kind of like the way the two are actually blending now. I'll just merge the two of them together. All right, now that they are actually merged, they are now one. So I will just come and reduce the opacity. So now you're not actually now seeing the effects. So this is actually a background on its own. So if you're actually using maybe some light, you can attach some light to it. You just reduce especially it actually goes when you are using for some church flyers or the likes. All right, so this is this for this. So we can, okay, I think we've saved this particular this something that has to do with something like this before. So let me bring in a different element that I just want to use. Okay, it's taking time. So times you can actually be designing, and maybe you're trying to design a flyer. Then regardless of, you check most designs now, people have actually been making use of this element for most of their backgrounds. And most times you may just get this particular image and just erase the edges and use it for your background. So you can just come here and erase the top again. Just erase the top. Then probably if you need to erase the bottom, but actually don't see need for if erasing this one. So I can just come here and still the same way reduce the opacity. So it's now having that effect on the background. So the same way we can also, another background you can also use is a blurred background. Blurred background actually works very, very well. There's a particular client, the school wasn't that actually a very, very big school. It's just like this startup school that uses buildings that are not all structured. So when she actually gave me that she helped her with her flyer. So what I did, when I made research, I saw the structure of the school. I just picked her school. I decided to use the image. All I just went to, I just had to just go and blur it. I blurred the background, so I used it as my background for the design. So it actually worked well, though. If I still have the design here, I can still show you. Because it has to do with something that has to do with kids, children. I had to just blur this was the design before she changed it. So these were the original children I used for the design. Have I deleted those? Okay, so this was the original design. So you can see our school there was actually outside. I just changed by adding some things to it. So this is everything I think I just have to show you on pixellab. Right, so I don't want to make this video more than 30 minutes using Snapseed. Sorry. So Snapseed. The next one is Snapseed. Now remember, we actually saved some designs before. So you can and I said before, the creation of background is limited to your creativity. So let's just bring in this particular element. When you come to structure or details and increase the structure, increase the sharpening, it's giving it will be at least you'll be reducing some of actually what we actually added to this design. But if you now save it like this, you look at it, it's kind of different from what we brought in before. But I don't want this. Let me just bring in this one. So now, depending on what you're using, so I want a grainy film. Like I added a grain to it. Now when you now look at it, it's giving you like a grainy. When you look at it, it's giving you a grainy film. So you can just save this and bring it to in for your design. Now I just remembered I didn't talk about one of this one that has to do with noise. When I had noise, it's giving me that grainy film we saw in pixellab. So if I can enhance the noise, I can increase the alpha, enhance it, I can reduce it. But mostly I don't make use of noise for my design. I just, when I'm done with the design, I'll just take it to pixellab, Snapseed, and add the grain effect to the overall effect, the overall design. So this is one way you can add grain to it. The other one you can also add to it is, let's just bring this design back. Let me make use of this. Actually a gradient I created in pixellab. So this is just a pure gradient, nothing attached to it. There's no green, no nothing. So you will just come here and add drama. So you can just play around this drama effect, the drama option. So you can either increase the saturation, reduce saturation. Just move your hand like this. Just hold the screen and move your hand. That you'll be switching between both options. So you can play around it and get the required any see of your choice. So we'll just make use of this one. The other one will be making use of is Grunge. Now Grunge gives you this kind of feeling, so you can just click on this particular option, be giving you various options, or you can just as well come here. Is already on styles, you can just be increasing, or you come here and change the texture. You can change the texture, just your choice. All right, so this is, so if you want this particular, you can just come here, export and save if this is actually what you want. Yeah, you can now bring it in pixellab and design on it. Let me just bring it here as automatically as a background from gallery. So this is what I'm having using just those effects. So another one you can use is double exposure. So I'll get rid of this one, open, and let's just bring in this particular option. I'm sorry. So I'll come to double exposure. I'll bring in, I'll click on add. Let me bring in this particular element. There's probably a particular design. Okay, let's just pick this that have to do with this soil. All right, so this is it. So you can just click on this check mark if you like this one, or you can, if you click on plus, you'll be bringing another image. This image will lead there automatically. So these are various options. Click on this one, it will give you various options: lighting, darken. If you want it this way, maybe this is what you want, you click on this check mark and that's apply. You can save the design, or you can click on add, click on subtract, click on overlay, and I think darken gives me a good feel here, but most times I use overlay, but this overlay is not working for this particular image. So using dark overlay did not work. Actually, it was because of this place helps your opacity, helps you. If I reduce it, I can increase the strength. So it was mainly because of the opacity, but I don't like it this way. But that's why I'm sticking with darken. So I can still come here and adjust it if I want it to be this way, but I kind of like the way darken is giving me now. All right. Good feel, yeah. But most times I use overlay, but this overlay is not working for this particular image. So I can now export and save. So I can now take it to pixellab for my next design. All right, so that is all for this tutorial. I just hope you've learned a lot. You've learned how I used to create my designs for my background for my designs. All right, let me just know how your what you think and how you feel about this in the comment section. Please give me a thumbs up, do well to share, and just enjoy yourself. So that's all. All right, guys, so that's all for this tutorial. I just hope you've learned a lot. I just showed you some ways on how I create my background for my designs. All right, so I still have this offer available, my social media design offer, which is 2,000 naira Nigerian naira, 2,000 Nigerian naira for just 6 weeks, 6 days, sorry, 6 days class. I'll be showing you how to create stunning designs using pixellab. All right, you can just send me a DM on WhatsApp, or there's a link in the description of this video, but sending you directly to my WhatsApp. All right, so let's just see. That will be all for this video. We'll see you in the next video. All right.